Welcome, Ramley. How are my Rams super fans doing today? Today we are previewing the Rams versus the Indianapolis Colts. Now the Rams come in 1-0, as you guys already know. We just beat the Chicago Bears. The Colts are coming in 0-1, unfortunately just losing to the Seattle Seahawks. Now let's talk about the injury report. Now I'm doing the injury report a little early, so expect this to change the closer we get to game time. As far as the Rams, the really only injury of concern is David Long Jr., who exited for the Rams, and I'm not really sure if he returned last game against the Bears. From what I heard, it was just cramping and it's not a big deal. But the fact that he left and he was out for quite a while, I would definitely keep my eye on it. Now on the other side of the ball, the Colts will be without wide receiver T.Y. Hilton, who's on IR. He's not expected to come back for a few weeks. And Xavier Rhodes and Eric Fisher are both questionable. Now what am I looking forward to seeing? Of course, guys, I'm looking forward to seeing Matt Stafford. Will Stafford be able to keep it rolling? Was his performance just a high point on a season-long roller coaster? Or is this going to be the new norm? Now as Rams fans, we all know Jared Goff had games like that all the time. But it was always just a very high point on a season-long roller coaster that would drag us up really, really high and down really, really low. With Stafford, I'm expecting consistency. So will he have a damn near perfect game every game? Probably not. But man, I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't expecting greatness from this man. Let's see if he could keep it rolling against a better defense in the Indianapolis Colts. Also, I'm going to keep a close eye on that Rams rushing defense. How will the Rams fare against running back Jonathan Taylor? We let David Montgomery, the running back of the Chicago Bears, last game run all over us. He finished with 6.8 yards per carry. Luckily, they had to abandon the run in the fourth quarter and he only finished with 108 yards. We have to do better. How will we defend Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines, and Marlon Mack? On the flip side, I'm going to pay very close attention to the Rams running game. Will Darrell Henderson be able to continue to roll like he did at the very end of the fourth quarter against the Bears? Because the other 3.5 quarters was a struggle, and he has to do better. Now let's talk matchups, the passing offense versus the passing defense. By now, you know the Rams passing attack looked to be one of the best in the NFL. While the Colts just gave up 254 yards and 4 touchdowns to Russell Wilson in week 1, along with a 52.3 passer rating. Now, if that was any indication, Matthew Stafford is gonna have his way with the Colts secondary. Now for the Colts, Carson Wentz accumulated 251 passing yards, but he did that on 38 attempts. That was good for a measly 6.6 yards per attempt. Now that's not gonna be good enough to get it done against Jalen Ramsey and company. I can tell you that now. Now the Colts' top 2 receivers were actually running backs. Nyheim Hines and Jonathan Taylor combined for 12 catches and 108 yards. Now if they plan on just dumping the ball off the running backs all game, Carson Wentz and the Indianapolis Colts are going to be in for a long day. I think this is where the Rams win the game. It's the passing attack versus the Colts' passing defense. It's such a mismatch there that's going to be the difference here. Now let's talk rushing attack versus rushing defense. Now the Colts gave up 140 rushing yards on 5.2 yards per carry. Now I'm not going to say that our running game is as good as Chris Carson and the Seahawks running game is just yet, because our running game against the Bears through 3 quarters was non-existent. But it did pick up wonderfully in the fourth quarter when we had to lean on Henderson to ice the game. This is one thing that I'm going to keep a close eye on and I'm looking forward to seeing the most. Now the Colts struggled to run the ball against the Seahawks too. As a team, they finished with 113 rushing yards, but only on 3.8 yards per carry, and the longest run of the game being for only 12 yards. But if the Rams front 7 plays like they did against the Bears, you can guarantee that these numbers for the Colts will increase dramatically. The Rams rushing defense has to play better. We might be able to beat teams like the Bears and the Colts while allowing them to run all over us, but that's not going to be the case when our schedule gets a little tougher later on in the season. Our running defense is something we have to fix. That was my number 1 concern after watching the Bears game. Honestly, that was my only concern after watching the Bears game. We played perfect in pretty much all facets of the game besides our running defense. I would like to see us run the ball a little better also. So I guess you could say running on both sides of the ball has to tighten up. It has to get better. That's what I'll be watching and looking forward to the most come Sunday. Now let's talk individual matchups. Really, the only individual matchup I'm really looking forward to seeing is Aaron Donald versus offensive guard Quentin Nelson. Now, Aaron Donald had a pretty good game against the Bears in week 1. He finished with 3 tackles and 1 sack. He also helped Justin Hollins get another sack when he grabbed Andy Dalton and Somehow Andy Dalton got away at the very last minute, but stumbled into Justin Hollins. He also ended the game with a quarterback hit and about 4 or 5 pressures. So needless to say, Aaron Donald still has it, and he doesn't look like he lost a step. A lot of people might have thought just because he's getting a little up there in age that he was going to start to slow down. No, not this year, guys. Sorry. But offensive guard Quentin Nelson is one of the best guards in the NFL. Anxious to see how Aaron Donald's going to fare against him. Now let's talk about the things that I want to keep my eye on. Like I said, guys, I said it throughout this entire video. I want to keep my eye on our running defense. Can we play better? We don't need an elite running defense, but we at least need an average running defense. And in week 1, we were extremely below average, and we need to tighten that up. Also, another thing that I'm looking forward to watching is our running game. Can we run the ball effectively for 4 quarters? In order for our offense to be the best offense in the league, which we have the ability to do so, we need to run the ball. Maybe now that, we're another week into practicing, Sony Michel can get a few carries as well. I wouldn't be mad at that. And another thing that I want to keep my eye on is I want to keep my eye on how our defensive line is going to play. Who is going to get pressure not named Aaron Donald? Against the Bears, it was Justin Hollins. Is Leonard Floyd going to show up? Because I'm not even sure he played last game. We gave him a big contract for a reason. And I told y'all we shouldn't have did that. When is he going to show up? Is he going to wait until we play the Seahawks again? So I'm definitely keeping my eye on him. I'm keeping my eye on Justin Hollins. Hopefully Justin Hollins can play just as good as he played against the Bears. He looked amazing. He looked like the person that we thought Leonard Floyd was. But it was only one game. Maybe I'm speaking too soon. Hopefully I'm speaking too soon. Let's get into predictions. Guys, I'm not going to lie. After watching the Rams play against the Bears on Sunday night, I am excited. My excitement went from a 10 out of 10 to a 20 out of 10. And with that being said, I think the Rams offense will get even a little better. I do think Darrell Henderson bounces back, and I think he has a pretty good game, maybe 80 to 120 yards rushing. And with that added facet to our offense, Stafford will continue to roll. The Rams win 41-17 in a rout on the road of the Indianapolis Colts. Guys, let me know what you think. Am I a little too optimistic? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you're keeping your eye on. Let me know your prediction. Let me know, is there something I missed? Also, let me know, am I over panicking about the Rams rushing defense? Is it not that serious? Do you guys think it'll just be one game? Let me know. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and if you're interested in more Rams content, watch this video right here.